welcome to my channel on the best of fantasy. Today I am doing the rapid fire book tag. I was tagged by Alan from the Library of Alexandria, and I will put a link in the description below to his version of the tag. So this is supposed to be the rapid fire book tag, so I'm just gonna rapidly start answering these questions. And let's see how I do here. Questions number 1, hardback or paperback? Definitely don't care that much, honestly. Whatever's cheaper. I like hardbacks, they look nicer. Paperbacks are probably a little bit lighter, easier to read, I suppose. So paperback, the bigger ones though, not the mass market ones so much, because with fantasy, a lot of them are very thick books and it's very hard to read them without breaking the spine. So I think I like the larger paperbacks. That's the ideal, I think. So ebooks are number 2, ebooks or physical copies. I have never read an ebook, so that's a definite physical copy right there. Number 3, secondhand or new copies. I don't care that much. Actually, I used to buy mostly secondhand. Lately, I've been buying more new, but I tend to be cheap. So whatever I can get without spending too much money and getting in trouble. Number 4, audiobooks or nah. I have never listened to an audiobook. I'm not opposed to audiobooks. I think they're wonderful for the people that they work for, but I have never used them, and if I ever try them, there are certain series I've heard there's some really great audiobooks for, but honestly, I like reading with a book in my hand, so yeah, probably nah, honestly. But do you cover by? No, I don't really cover by. It's not the first thing I look. I like covers and I admire the artwork, but it's not why I buy a book usually. So no. Your favorite cover that you own? You know, my Riverside Chaucer. That is a gorgeous book. If you've never seen it, look it up. Riverside Chaucer. They make a gorgeous cover on that, the collected works of Geoffrey Chaucer, including the Canterbury Tales. It's a really nice medieval manuscript kind of cover. I also love my William Morris Saga library books. Those are from the 1890s, the original editions I have. Those are also quite gorgeous, beautiful green with gold leaf and stuff. So yeah, okay. Number 7, your least favorite cover that you own. I don't really think about that sort of thing too much, but I guess the Wheel of Time. I have some old paperback editions of those with the kind of the cheesy, even though they were published in the 90s, the cheesy 80s vibe kind of covers. So I like to make fun of those. There's a nostalgia factor to them though. So I don't know if I'm the least favorite, but that's what comes to mind. First book you ever read. Now, how am I supposed to remember that? I have no idea. I remember the first fantasy series I ever read was Lloyd Alexander's Chronicles of Prydain. I do remember that, so that'll be my answer, I guess. But I was like 11 or something at that point, so I had read a lot of books before that. But let's see, the last book you finished. Let's see, what was it? Oh, I guess that must have been the Dresden Files, Summer Night. That was the last book I finished and reviewed for the channel. Let's see here. Last series you finished. Okay, so, well, I'm about to finish Blood and Bone by John Gwynne, the trilogy that follows The Faithful and the Fallen in the Banished Lands. So I'm going to have to go with that. I think I'm very close to finishing, so I guess that counts, right? Latest series I'm going to finish. Let's see, where am I? Last book you bought, number 11. Oh, wow. I buy books in bunches usually, so I don't have to pay for shipping if I'm ordering them online. So I bought Josiah Bancroft's Books of Babel and Mark Lawrence's Book of the Ancestor trilogy and Daniel Abraham's Long Price Quartet. Also Terry Pratchett's Guards, which I read and reviewed already. Yeah, those are I probably a couple others I'm forgetting, but yeah, I bought a bunch of them fairly recently. What is your favorite genre? Easy, fantasy. Let's see, what's your favorite book in that genre? Oh, Favorite series is definitely the Malazan Book of the Fallen and all the books in the Malazan world. The Malazan books have become my favorite, absolute favorite fantasy, displacing my long-held favorite of Lord of the Rings, by the way. So, let's see. Let's see. Oh, yeah. What number 14? What genre do you never reach for? I'm trying to go fast here, people. What genre do you never reach for? Romance, I guess. Romance, yeah. I've never read an actual romance book. So, yeah, that must be it. Do you read poetry? All the time. I love poetry. I teach poetry as in my introduction to literature class, and I love poetry, especially Old English poetry, and skaldic poetry and that sort of thing. But I love poetry in general. I'm a big fan of poetry for sure. But yeah, I love it. Number 16, popular science. Yes, I actually do love to read popular science. Science written for lay people like myself. So I love reading about the universe and the brain and the natural world and planets and this and that. So yeah, I absolutely love reading popular science. Middle grade. I don't tend to read middle grade on my own, but I have read middle grade with my daughters in the past and really enjoyed it very much. So yeah. What's your favorite bookish item? I have no idea what that even means. My favorite bookish item, maybe my tweed jackets, because they're kind of bookish, right? I think that's going to have to do. What's your current bookmark? Oh, I have a bookmark that was made. You know how your kids do the pictures, school day pictures and stuff? So in the last few years, they've been making bookmarks with your kid's picture. And I have a bookmark of my younger daughter, Reshma, when she was probably in like first grade. And she hates that, so I won't show it to you, but I love it. It's the cutest picture ever of her from when she's in first grade. So I use that bookmark. That is my main bookmark that I use. So let's see, number 20. How are we doing here? Boy, we gotta go fast. What's the strangest object you've used as a bookmark? Let's see. Oh, well, a pair of underwear, but it's not what you're thinking. It was a pair of underwear that I was using as a bookmark while folding laundry. So, yeah, there you go. Let's see, book jackets or nah? I mean, I'm not opposed to book jackets, but I don't like to read a hardcover book with the book jacket on. I will take it off while I'm reading. So I don't know if that's what you mean. But anyway, who's your fictional boyfriend? Oh, well, let me think. I could see myself sort of fanboying around somebody like Anomander Rake. That's a good answer, right? So yeah, I'll go with that. Favorite book couple? Oof. Let's see. I'm currently about to finish A Blood and Bone, and there's a wonderful couple in there named Hammer and Friend. And if you've read the book from the Vanished Land, you know what I mean. But just for the rest of you, they're a couple of very large bears, and their romance is definitely one of my favorites ever. So, okay, favorite book villain. I'm gonna go with Gollum. Gollum. I love Gollum. I think he's a brilliant creation on Tolkien's part. So I'm going with Gollum. Spur of the moment thoughts here, people. Favorite book friendship. Boy. Oh, Jalyn and Snorri from the Red Queen's War trilogy by Mark Lawrence. They're a lot of fun. I love the dynamic between the two of them. Series, trilogies, or standalone books. If they're well written, it doesn't really matter. I'll just say trilogies. It's sort of the Goldilocks, I guess, there. Goldilocks zone. Weird reading habit. I feel like, do I have a weird reading habit? Not really. I mean, I talk to the book sometimes. Not even that often. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I have a good answer for this one. So, moving on in the interest of time. What's your favorite book adaptation? Probably the Lord of the Rings films by Peter Jackson. I mean, I do have my issues with them, but overall, I think they're just really well done. So, yeah, I'll go with that. Film adaptations or TV adaptations? You know, for full-length fantasy series, I definitely would go with the TV adaptation, I think. If it's a standalone, maybe a movie is good enough. But I think these days, some of the best storytelling on screens that's going on is going on the small screen. So I'll just go with the TV adaptation, I guess. What book needs an adaptation? Well, I would love to see the Malazan Book of the Fallen adapted for the screen. Also, Realm of the Elderlings would be really cool, I think. That would be a great TV series. So, yeah. Favorite book world? Oof, these are hard to do fast. Middle-earth. Middle-earth. I would love to just wander in Middle-earth and maybe meet a few Ents and elves and that sort of thing. Would like to avoid the orcs and Nazgul and stuff, but but yeah, Middle-earth. I love. It's just such a beautiful place that captured my imagination when I was a kid. So yeah, I'll go with that. Favorite writing style? Oh, that is not even possible to answer. I mean, it depends. If it's done well, I love really terse, concise writing, and I can also like flowery writing sometimes in small doses, I guess. Not too much of that, but yeah, I like to see writers who have a lot of range. That's what awes me the most. Writers who can do comedy and high and serious drama and tragedy and all this mixed into one book effectively. That's what I admire, I guess. So I guess I'll go with that. Number 33. What's a book that you love that people don't know about? That's a strange question, because if it's a book and I've read it, probably other people have read it too. I don't know. I mean, I read a lot of Old English poetry and Old Norse stuff that maybe fewer people would read, so maybe that. People know about Beowulf, but there's a lot of other great Old English poetry. My favorites would be the poems that are in the Exeter book. So we'll go with the Exeter book. Maybe you've never heard of the Exeter book before, but anyway. Where was I here? Number 34. What's a popular book that you hated? I don't hate things, generally speaking. I don't hate books. I try not to be too worked up about that sort of thing. One that I think is fairly popular on Fantasy BookTube that I didn't DNF the first book, but I gave up on the series because I wasn't that in love with the first book, was the... what's it called? The Black Prism was the first book, and it's the Lightbringer series. Yeah, so I didn't continue with that, I guess. Didn't hate it though. That's a bit of a strong word, isn't it? Favorite childhood reads? When I was a kid, it was definitely comics. I loved comic books, especially Spider-Man and the X-Men. So those were my favorite, but I had lots and lots of comic books. I've showed them off on the channel before when I did my bookshelf tour. Let's see, number 36. What's a book that changed your life? Probably the first answer to that would be Lord of the Rings, because when I was about 12 or 13 or so, I read that and it just blew me away, and probably had a lot to do with my subsequent life course in many respects. More recently, the Malazan books have been, I would say, life-changing. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great, fantasy that moves us, but those two for me are the biggest and most impactful on just my outlook on life, I guess. So yeah, those are my answers. What book did you hate at school? Again, that hate word. Oh my goodness. I didn't hate anything. I actually read the books that we were assigned at school. I can't remember hating anything. I mean, I actually loved this book, Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky, but it did have me depressed for a couple of weeks afterwards. So that's not really hating it, though. A feel-good book. Probably Lord of the Rings. I reread it so many times. Or The Hobbit. I'll go with The Hobbit there because I read it to my kids and it's just so much fun to read with them. So definitely The Hobbit. That's the best answer for a feel-good book for me. A book that makes you cry. Oh, how many? I mean, how long can this video be? I cry a lot with books. I've been crying a lot with the Malazan books. The John Gwynn's books have been making me cry as well this year, and just so many. I mean, I cry. It's ridiculous. I cry at commercials. So, yeah. Number 40. We're up to 40. What's your favorite reading snack? I don't know. Peanuts. That's what I'm going to say. What's your salted, though? What's your favorite reading position? Oh, that's easy. Lying down. I almost always read lying down on my bed. So, yep, that's easy. Natural light or lamplight? Well, it'll be a lamp probably because I'm lying down on my bed. So, yep. Outside or inside? Definitely inside. I am not somebody who likes to sit under a tree and read a book because, mosquitoes and stuff and people and, just the wind blowing the pages and I want to be inside. I'm no longer that idealistic that I would read outside. I'm going to be comfortable and read on my bed. So breaking the cover or keeping it smooth. Why would you break the cover? Why would you do that? What sort of monster does something like that? Breaking the cover? What kind of question is that? Do you read in other languages? Not on a regular basis. I've read novels in French and in German and in Welsh, and I read Old English. I read Old Norse some, and yeah, those are the main ones I've read full-length books in. I dabble in reading other languages too, but yeah, and I don't do that often either. No, I mean it's usually going to be in modern English. Number 46, what book series do you want to finish this year? Well, I'm doing my reread of the Malazan Book of the Fallen and my read of Novels of the Malazan Empire, so it would be awesome to finish that before the end of the year. So that's my answer there. Number 47, what book release are you most excited about right now? Ooh, well, I was really excited for Joe Abercrombie's The Wisdom of Crowds. That happened. I read it, reviewed it, loved it. I would have to say that, that's easy actually. Stephen Erickson's next book in the sequel series to the Malazan Book of the Fallen and the God is Not Willing. Yeah, I mean, that's in the Witness trilogy. That is the one I am most excited about by far. I am going to read it as soon as I finish my Malazan reread. So yeah, that's an easy one. Let's see, where was I here? What book release? Oh, I did that. Yeah, 48. Do you have a favorite book influencer? Oh, come on. You all know that I love you all. So, do you have a channel, blog, or social media feed? Yes, I have a channel. This one. Philip Chase, very creatively named. That's my channel, and I also putter around a little bit in Twitter, I guess. So you can find me at PhilipChase90 on Twitter if you want to. But I do, occasionally send out some very wise tweet. Generally, I'm just tweeting about whatever I'm doing on BookTube. So, and that's it. Tag your friends, it says. So, well, who can I tag here? I mean, probably most of the people I know have done this tag. I know one person, though, for sure, who hasn't done it. And I threatened to tag him recently, so I'm going to go through with my threat. And I know he's going to ignore this anyway, so that's fine. But peer pressure. I'm tagging AP Canavan at A Critical Dragon. The formidable Professor Fireballs. You are tagged. And do what you will with it. So, all right, well, thank you so much for watching this, and I will see you all next time.